Having come to politics sort of through the activist policy side of things, I knew that this bill was out there. There was a bill called the Global Warming Solutions Act. There are, I believe, 5 other states who have passed similar legislation. The bill was basically dead on arrival. Right, Lila? It was basically dead. A bunch of my friends who were on the outside of politics, the activist community, and I and some real good-hearted legislators that really care about these things got together, and we decided to pull it out of the mud, and we did. And we worked with the Speaker's office. We held a press conference on the State House stairs and inside the grand staircase, and got a lot of attention, got some press. And lo and behold, on the last day of formal session, July 31st, this legislation was passed. Leading up to that, I was able to give my maiden speech on this, where I spoke about the green jobs that something with a carbon cap would generate, and moving us towards a green economy. And it was really just a personal highlight, and something that's good for the Commonwealth as well. The point I'd like to make, though, is that it really has to be a model and be applied elsewhere. Otherwise, Massachusetts cannot solve this global problem on our own. Okay, so who said that? It's not easy being green. Oh, thank goodness, some Sesame Street watchers. Okay, this legislative session actually broke a lot of ground in Massachusetts history. This was the greenest session by many measures. We are the envy of other states who care about these things. We passed the Green Communities Act, which was an energy bill, and I will give the caveat that none of these pieces of legislation were perfect, but as a whole, it is a big step in the right direction. Green Communities Act had things for green buildings and basically our energy sources. Oceans Act provided sort of an overlay for establishing renewable energy wind farms in our seas, and also protecting parts of our coastline that need protection. Green Energy Biofuels Act is pretty self-explanatory, and the Global Warming Solutions Act, and then a separate act called the Green Jobs Act. So we had basically 5 pieces of legislation. The Boston Globe had a little fun. That picture there is actually from the Boston Globe. It's the State House turning green. They had a little bit of fun with comparing California to Massachusetts, and they made a lot out of Arnold Schwarzenegger and our Governor Deval Patrick having this green competition between them, and their deputies, their secretaries of energy, arm wrestling to see who is the greenest state. And that's what I call a healthy competition. As long as our governor doesn't have to arm wrestle Arnold, I think we'll be okay. But the whole experience from 10 years ago, 11 years ago, when I mentioned global warming, people would look at me like I had 12 heads. And, you know, this is a decade later. It needs to happen faster, but the progress is notable and moving in the right direction. So I am very hopeful.
This excerpt is brought to you by the Massachusetts School of Law, the leader of reform in legal education and a leader in multimedia education for the public. To view the full interview and for a full listing of MSL's programs, log on to mslaw.edu.